Man, I've been waiting on this for quite some time, and it is finally here. What am I talking about? Batman Static Beyond issue number 1. Yo, what are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuss. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? It is your boy, Earthsmack, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel. So today, we are covering Batman Static Beyond issue number 1 by Evan Narcisse, Nicholas Draper-Ivey, and Will Quintana. Now, mind you, this is DC Black Label. This is in Elseworlds. This is in a totally different universe altogether. Now, remember, in Justice League Unlimited, there was one particular episode where you saw Warhawk, you saw a grown-up Static, and everything else in between, right? So this is kind of touching on that just a little bit. And to be honest with you, Static's powers have grown exponentially, and you would definitely see what I'm talking about. And you definitely want to stick around to the end of this video. That way you can hear my personal review on Batman Static Beyond. So let's jump into it. So, Batman Static Beyond opens up in deep space. Now, as you can see, it is a grown-up Virgil Hawkins. Now, it starts off by saying, never imagined my future will look like this. 20 years ago, I was a plain old Virgil Hawkins, studying for AP Physics and scraping together cash for a new gaming monitor. Then, I got my powers at the Big Bang protest, and everything changed. Today, Earth's on the brink of being accepted into an intergalactic alliance called the Cooperative, thanks to me and a bunch of other people. Access to their technology and aggregate knowledge might save the planet from this slow death it's dying. All I have to do is push myself further than I ever have and hope things don't blow up in my face. Haven't done anything on this scale before, but I have to try. Too much on the line. And it comes in, Javelin to Static. You okay out there? And then you go to the next page and you see Icon and Superman. Obviously, Superman is a little bit older, got a little, gray hair situation, no cape. And obviously, you see Icon with the fresh cut. I'm a little jealous of the haircut. I ain't going to hold you. But Static like, yeah, I'm good, Warhawk. And this is in the Milky Way. This is in space. Static was in space, outside of the ship. You catch what I'm saying? So obviously his powers have grown exponentially from that standpoint. The Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, he ain't having a good time right now. He's used to being on the ground, like just handling Gotham situations and stuff like that. But he's in space, not handling it well. This man is blowing chunks all over the ship. I would be pissed. That's all I know. But Static goes on to say, well, I helped develop the Shockwave with funding from Bruce Wayne. And Terry says, and the old man basically ordered me to come on this flight. He makes sense for us both to be on board for the beta test. Now remember, they are trying to make good with the Cooperative, because with the Cooperative technology, they can pretty much make Earth a better place. Now, without the Cooperative's help, yeah, Earth would be fine, but just like Static saying, the planet is slowly dying, much slowly, so it won't die in their lifetime, but they're trying to keep it going past their life expectancy, past their kids and grandkids and stuff like that. So from that standpoint, it says, speaking of which, let me get started. He says, all systems optimal. We'll warp jump once the big guys clear the path through the Torix. So, from that standpoint, you get to Superman. Superman, like superheroes, picking up some nervous tremors in Static's voice. Naturally, this man is nervous because he's at the forefront of all of this. And Icon responds, I've known Virgil since he was an adolescent. He will see this through, nervous or not. And then you get AI saying cooperative data transmission initiated. And says, still, his concerns are understandable. The Cooperative's Interplanetary Alliance is watching. If the craft performs as expected, Earth will be accepted into the Cooperative. Superman is not so warm and fuzzy about this, but he's still going along with it. He's going on to say, still, I don't like it that the Cooperative's making the Earth audition like this, Icon. And he says they require all member plans to exhibit superhuman capability. He's like, sounds like you're on their side. He says, not so I may be from a cooperative planet, but I made Earth my adopted home, just as you have, Superman. Years ago, Static asked me if I would stay on Earth or return to my homeworld. It's called Terminus because they achieved the pinnacle of peace and prosperity. On hearing that, Static wondered if my time on Earth made me feel more alive to myself than my home planet. I have to admit that he is right. Helping a society come to maturity is a joy I didn't know I needed. And from that standpoint, they did a countdown, and Static does his thing, right? So Static is in space, and they did a warp. They warped into another section of space, and there's a battle going on. Okay, so it wasn't expecting this. It's supposed to be empty space, but it's like, yo, are those Sprocken Kun Marauders attacking colonial freighters? Like, scans said the quadrant was supposed to be unoccupied. Now, mind you, there is the new Justice League, right? There's Warhawk, there's Big Barda that's there, there's Micro that's there, but we're going to put a pin in that. They're taking a little bit of a back seat to Static and Superman and Icon, more or less Static. He says, Batman, you need to stay here and keep the shockwaves safe. Static, you're with us. And it looks like Static is the leader of this situation. Yeah, Superman is the elder here, and Icon is, but it seems though Static knows more about this than anybody else. And he says, look, maybe we can talk our way out of this. Yeah, like anybody speak Kun? And he says, the Kuns terrorize every sector of known cosmos. They go wherever there is plunder, and reinforcements just warped in. So from that standpoint, you get to see the power of Static. He's like, yo, hey, Batman, some covering fire would be great if you're not too nauseous. He says Kuns are scavengers, feel like their ships have a bunch of different technologies under the hood, but they've all got one thing in common. They all need power that I can take away. Have to push myself harder than ever, take it all in, and send a shot to their systems. Now, he did it. So he did a whole fleet. He took out a whole fleet of Space Marauders, technically on his own. And he says, left them enough juice for life support. And Barter was like, man, that's more than they deserve. I would have left them like floating in space. Like, they would have been gone, out of here. But that's a testament to Static's ability and how much he's grown. So it says we did good, but I'm guessing the cooperative may not be impressed. Icon. He's like, had the shockwave been seized, the Kuns would have gained a fearsome and versatile power source. The cooperative already view Earth as immature and have no interest in teaching a younger sibling what it needs to learn. He said, all right, Justice League, let's head back home. Now that last line there, that kind of lets you know that he's kind of like the leader, or if not, he probably is the leader of the Justice League. Now we move over to Melvin. Now this is also part of the story that mixes in with Batman Static Beyond. And Melvin is this anti-Q protester because obviously they're using Q generators to generate energy in the area of Gotham City. Now, obviously, he's met with opposition, and people was like telling him, like, listen, you could have just done this online. Like, you could just do this virtually. He's like, no. I'm going to do this where people can actually see me so I can look them in the eye and tell them that this Q generator grids are dangerous for Gotham. But he met with some physical opposition. Obviously, Terry McGinnis gets involved because Gotham is his city, and he tells Melvin, yo, this is my contact info. Hit me up if you need help tonight because there is a rally that is going on for the Q grid. Now, we're going to take it back to Dakota City, man. And so Dakota City is prospering, man. And Virgil has a whole family. He got a wife and a son, and his dad is there with him. He's playing with his son. And something comes up on the news, and it says, this is Darius Delamy on Extreme today. We remember the modern American tragedy known as the Big Bang. And Virgil's wife was like, why does this algorithm think I want to watch a documentary at dinner time? Like, let me cut it off. And he's like, hold up. This is Darius' project. Been waiting for this. Can you leave it on? And Darius goes on to say, when the anti-police brutality protesters were gassed with the experimental Q juice that turned, many died immediately. Others, like Static, were transformed into Bang Babies, being with impossible abilities. Heroes like Static fought to protect everyone, especially meta-humans targeted by state sanctions. And chaos churned through the city streets, but Dakota did not crumble. Instead, it began to build a daring new future by looking inward. Now, remember what I said, that Dakota City is prospering? Look at that city, man. Look at that city. It is bright. It is busting out with lights. Obviously, they're making money hand over fist. Things is looking real bright out here in Dakota City, and I wouldn't mind living there. That's all I'm saying. So they're at the dinner table. Virgil's dad was like, I'm proud of the part you played in helping Dakota rebuild, son. And I still don't understand why you're not in Gotham for their Q-Grid event, though. He says the work to turn Q-Juice into a stable power source started right here in Dakota, Dad. Icon keeps talking cosmic politics, but I just want to do what I can help people live on this planet in this city. Besides, Neo Gotham, it goes by the beat of their own drum. You know what I'm saying? So obviously this city is being powered by Q-Juice and the Q-Grid, but in a good way. So I don't know what exactly is going on in Gotham, but they go to this rally at the launch of the Q-Grid. Now, mind you, Terry is there with a friend of his, but at this rally, they are interrupted by the Jokers. Now, the Jokers pull up and start tearing up the place, wreaking havoc, and Batman's like, somebody wants to make life in Gotham better, so of course these jerks gotta show up. And he's like, nah, man, we cause chaos. That's what we do. Now, unbeknownst to Terry, Melvin is there as well, and he's being attacked. But remember, Terry told him, if you are in trouble, if you need anything, give me a call. So he calls Terry, but Terry is a little occupied at the time. But while Terry is fighting the Jokers, one of the Jokers shoots off 2 bazooka rockets, and they go into the area where Melvin is, and he's hurt, but something looks a little strange about him. It seems as though he may be developing powers from those bazooka rockets. So that is it for this issue of Batman Static Beyond. Now, I will tell you, I did skip some key parts in this video, okay? Because I want you guys to go to your LCS to go get yourself or your personal copy of Batman Static Beyond. Now, I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to DC Black Label, when it comes to Elseworlds, it does not disappoint. It hardly ever disappoints. And the fact that I did touch on a lot of Static stuff, and Static has grown up, and how powerful Static is now, because he's out here in space. You know what I'm saying? Even though he really want to handle things in Dakota City, it's the fact that he's in space, and that's a testament to how powerful he actually is. And it looks as though he is the leader of this Justice League team. And obviously, Batman being the second. But from that standpoint, the one thing I did skip out on a lot of is Melvin. Like, Melvin is probably going to be a centerpiece character going forward when it comes to Batman Static Beyond, just by looking at what happened in the last 2 pages of this. But there is a little background, actually there's a lot of background on Melvin in this comic. I did not touch on that because that is why I want you guys to go to your LCS. If they just so happen to be sold out of this comic, you can always get it digitally. You can always go on Comixology. You can always get it like that. So go ahead and support this comic. You would not be disappointed. And I know I covered a lot on Static and less on Batman Beyond, but I will say the fact that milestone characters are in this continuity, I wanted to highlight that a lot more. And the fact that Icon is here, like a new look of Icon, like these characters are flying around without capes. Like, they are very matter of fact. I guess they found capes impractical. You know what I'm saying? But even though Icon in Milestone is like the first hero, like in Milestone, or one of the first heroes, Static has always been that centerpiece. Static has been in the main DC continuity. Static had his own TV show, Static Shock, stuff like that. So it's only natural to have Static be your person to push forward to showcase everybody else from Milestone. And also, like I said, this is Black Label, but very good story. Love this story. There are some subplots here You got stuff with the Justice League. You got stuff with Melvin. You got stuff going on with Neo Gotham. How does that factor in with the Justice League? How does that factor in with Dakota City and Virgil? Because it seems as though that Dakota City is being powered by the Q Grid, but in a good way. But someone in Neo Gotham might not be using it in a good way, at least according to Melvin. So we'll see what happens. And also, will Melvin become a villain or a hero? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But you got to read about his background, though. Got to read about his background. You already know what he got to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, you will get notified on all of our content, live or recorded, once you select all in that drop-down box. Okay? So until next time, y'all, peace.